Hello, this is the Arcus 3D C1 and this is my latest extruder. So this particular stepper was junkyard fodder and was originally in the M1, but the M1 has since been parted out and made its way into other projects. So like this. So is this little, my first ever extruder design. Worked pretty well, actually. So it got upcycled into this one. So I wasn't happy with this. This is the original nut for tensioning, and it worked well for turning, but for pushing it, the edges were really sharp. So then happened this one, which is just a little bit too much plastic, and the hole in the center was a little bit too small. So this is the last one. It's got a single layer across the hole in there in the middle, so the bridge can make the entire span in one pass, and that hole doesn't sag. So you end up having to drill it out, though, to get it back to normal, but since it's a single layer, it's not that hard. So that does it. And so this regular old cheap, I think it's an M5, M6, I don't know. I'll put it in the bill of materials later. But anyway, it lets you use this cheap thing, and yes, I still have a pretty tight fit because you're going to be pressing on the top of this thing, and I don't want the nut to slide off. So perfect. Okay, so then I printed this little doodad, which ends up giving my spring somewhere to sit, and it'll spin, because if you just take the spring and use it normally, this little edge will dig in as you try to tighten it up and cause havoc. So printed one of those, and there is the tensioner for the extruder. So let's get it on there. Gotta be kind of careful here because that's just threaded into the aluminum. I don't want to ruin it. So, actually, we'd be going in the other way, wouldn't we? So to load it, I'm gonna make it in all as it is. I think I straighten that out. Hitting the inside of the end of the Bowden fitting there. So there you go. It's pretty significant tension. Works well. Looks a little messy because it's been through some war stories, but you do. Okay, so now the whole point of this is that now I can hang this from one of the rails and it'll pivot. It's a little bit below the center of mass the way I have it, but I'm hoping it'll work. If not, I got to move these up a little bit. You see I missed the mark there a little bit because this stepper is a little bit smaller than the one I spec'd. You know, the other one had a couple more what is that, layers of steel in it. In this one, this is only a 1.2 amp stepper. I spec'd it for a 2 amp, so it's a little bit squatter. Well, I'll take another shot once it's actually in the machine.